Constantinople. Founded by Emperor Constantine, it became the capital of the Byzantine Empire, a crossroads of Europe and Asia. Its legendary wealth and culture made it the envy of the world. The Theodosian walls, a marvel of engineering, had protected it for centuries, repelling invaders from Avars to Arabs. Inside, the legacy of Rome lived on, but by the 1400s, the city was a shadow of its former self. The empire had shrunk to little more than the city itself, its population dwindling, its buildings crumbling. Surrounded by the rising Ottoman Empire, Constantinople was an island of Christianity in a sea of Islam. Yet, its strategic importance remained undiminished, a symbol, the Queen of Cities, and the ultimate prize for the Ottomans. For Mehmed and his predecessors, it was the Red Apple, the city that split their empire in two. Capturing it would be more than a military victory. It would fulfill prophecy and announce a new world order. The city's fate was now a contest between the old world and the new. Its walls had held for a millennium, but the final siege was about to begin. The world watched as the last bastion of Rome prepared for its greatest trial. The stage was set for an epic confrontation. In 1451, 19-year-old Mehmed II became Sultan of the Ottomans. Many underestimated him, but Mehmed was brilliant, ambitious, and obsessed with one goal: conquering Constantinople. He saw the city as his destiny, the key to uniting his empire and fulfilling prophecy.
I will succeed where all my predecessors have failed.
Mehmed combined diplomacy and deception, renewing treaties with European powers while secretly amassing a massive army. He reassured Emperor Constantine VII, all the while preparing for war. Soldiers from across the empire gathered, with elite janissaries at the core, and a powerful navy to blockade the city. Mehmed was a new kind of ruler, part warrior, part scientist. He knew brute force alone wouldn't breach the city's legendary walls. He needed innovation, technology, a superweapon.
Build me a cannon that can smash the walls of Babylon itself.
Mehmed's vision was clear. Constantinople would be the capital of a new empire. He was determined to make history, no matter the cost. The city's defenders had never faced an enemy like him. The siege would be unlike any before. The world was about to change. Mehmed's answer to the city's walls was Orban, a Hungarian engineer.
The Byzantines couldn't pay me. Mehmed could.
Orban built the Great Turkish Bombard, a massive bronze cannon, able to hurl 200-pound stones over a mile. Moving and firing it was a feat in itself, but its psychological impact was immense. While the cannon was forged, Mehmed built Rumeli Hisari, a fortress on the Bosphorus, cutting off aid from the Black Sea. The Byzantines watched helplessly as the fortress rose, sealing their fate. With the fortress complete and the great cannon ready, Mehmed's preparations were nearly done. A vast army and fleet assembled, combining overwhelming numbers with cutting-edge technology. The tools of conquest were in place.
The time has come.
Constantinople was surrounded by land and sea. The ancient city faced a siege unlike any in its long history. The final assault was imminent. The fate of empires hung in the balance. In April 1453, Mehmed's army appeared before the Theodosian walls. The plains outside the city filled with tents and banners, a terrifying sight for the defenders. The great bombard and other cannons were positioned, and the siege began with thunderous artillery fire. The ground shook as stone balls smashed into the ancient walls day after day.
We were vastly outnumbered, just 7,000 defenders against tens of thousands.
Citizens worked tirelessly to repair the walls each night, filling breaches with earth and rubble. The city's sea defenses were strong. A great chain blocked the Golden Horn, keeping the Ottoman navy at bay.
Our smaller ships slipped through the blockade, bringing supplies and hope.
The chain held, and for a time the city's harbor remained secure. The defenders' resolve was tested, but they held on. The siege became a war of nerves as much as of arms. The city's fate hung by a thread. The Ottomans searched for a way to break the stalemate. At the heart of the defense stood Emperor Constantine II, refusing to abandon his city.
I will live and die with my people.
He inspired his troops, moving along the walls, sharing their dangers. The Genoese commander Giustiniani organized the defense, repelling Ottoman assaults with skill and courage. Greek fire and boiling oil rained down on attackers, and the defenders fought with desperate bravery. But the relentless cannon fire took its toll, breaching the outer walls, especially near the Lycus River. Towers crumbled, and the defenders struggled to hold the gaps, building makeshift barricades. It was a brutal cycle of destruction and repair.
We must hold on. Help may yet come.
The successful defense of the harbor chain brought hope, as did the arrival of a few Genoese ships. The people prayed in Hagia Sophia, seeking divine intervention. For a moment, it seemed faith and courage might save the city, but the walls were weakening, and time was running out. The defenders braced for the next Ottoman move. The siege was reaching its breaking point. Mehmed grew impatient as the siege dragged on. The chain blocking the Golden Horn held firm, and his assaults on the land walls failed. He needed a bold move, so he decided to move his ships over land.
Build a road of greased logs. We'll haul the ships ourselves.
Thousands of workers built the slipway in secret. On the night of April 22nd, dozens of Ottoman ships were hauled over the hill of Galata and launched into the Golden Horn.
Ships? In the Golden Horn? How is that possible?
The defenders awoke to find their protected harbor breached. The psychological blow was devastating. The city's weakest seawalls were now exposed. Mehmed had outmaneuvered them completely. The ring of steel was now unbreakable. There was no way out. The final act of the siege was about to begin. The city's fate was sealed. By late May, Constantinople was starving and exhausted. Mehmed prepared for a final, all-out assault.
I offer the city one last chance to surrender.
No, we will not surrender.
On May 29th, 1453, the Ottomans attacked from land and sea.
Forward, for the faith, for victory!
Waves of attackers crashed against the battered walls. The defenders, led by Constantine and Giustiniani, fought with desperate courage. But Giustiniani was wounded and carried from the walls, a devastating blow.
Stand firm, stand with me.
At the same time, Ottomans found an unlocked gate, the Kirkoporta, and raised their flag inside the city.
The Turks are inside. The flag. It's over the tower.
Panic spread. The defense collapsed. The last stand of Constantinople was over. The city had fallen. The world would never be the same. As the Ottomans poured in, Emperor Constantine VI cast off his regalia and fought to the end.
I am just a soldier now.
He died anonymously in the breach, the last Roman emperor. The city was given over to plunder for 3 days. Thousands were killed or enslaved. Crowds sought refuge in Hagia Sophia, but the sanctuary was breached. On the first day, Mehmed entered the city in triumph.
This city is mine now. Preserve it. Do not destroy it.
He rode to Hagia Sophia, awestruck by its beauty.
It will be a mosque, a symbol of our victory.
Mehmed ended the looting, declaring the city his new capital, Istanbul.
Any who have not been captured are under my protection. This city is now the heart of my empire.
He invited people of all faiths to settle there, beginning the city's transformation. A new chapter had begun, under a new ruler and a new empire. The 1,000-year-old bastion had fallen, but its legacy would echo through history. The world had changed forever. The fall of Constantinople in 1453 ended the Byzantine Empire and the last remnant of Rome. For the Ottomans, it was a glorious new beginning. Mehmed the Conqueror made Istanbul the center of a powerful empire. In Europe, the city's fall sent shockwaves of fear and panic. The Ottomans now controlled key trade routes, forcing Europeans to seek new paths to the east. This search sparked the Age of Discovery. Columbus, da Gama, and others changed the world map forever. The fall also fueled the Renaissance, as fleeing Byzantine scholars brought ancient Greek knowledge to Italy. Their manuscripts and ideas helped ignite Europe's intellectual rebirth. Even in defeat, Constantinople shaped the future. Its fall marked the end of one era and the birth of another. The echoes of that day still shape our world. The Queen of Cities had fallen.